And I'll just give these the shorthand, traditional, and native digital. The first one is quite classic, I would say. This is what you see here is a screenshot from an Excel file from a database in which you have the list of Palestinian blogs that the Cambridge Security Program provided, which they said, which they're very into exhaustiveness, so they were pretty sure that they had every Palestinian blog. Later we found some new ones, but I won't go into that. But and next to that you have what is classic is this coding of these blogs. So coding them for content. What kind of blog is it? Is it a political blog, science technology blog, etc., etc. And then they would correlate this with things like demographic information. So are most political blogs located, for example, outside of Palestinian territories? And they came up with some great findings through this way. And what they're doing is they're correlating these variables. They're grouping these blogs in different ways. But they're also using kind of their analytical framework, right? They're saying these two blogs belong together because they're both political blogs. So what we wanted to do was use hyperlink analysis, again, hyperlink as a measure of association and reputation, to see how the actors organize themselves and see what kind of claims we might make about the Palestinian blogosphere through that. And we found what I thought was really interesting. This is back up a second. This is an output of the issue crawler. It's kind of, I'd say, the sort of proto-digital methods tool because it's been around for much longer. The issue crawler does co-link analysis. It crawls a number of sites, in this case, the entire population of Palestinian blogs, and it looks at how these blogs link to each other, but as well as to other sites. And I'll zoom in a little bit here. Just interrupt if something's not clear, okay? So I'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see some of the names of these blogs. The interesting, and for me, it was the counterintuitive finding. What we saw was that many of the sort of famous Palestinian political blogs were not in this network. They aren't linked to within the Palestinian blogosphere, if you define that blogosphere by links. What you did find, and I'll come back to this in just a second, but I'll just show you, this is a screenshot of one of the blogs that was in the network. What you did find was a lot of sort of more youthful blogs, more in the sense of social media rather than in the sense of the public sphere, so it's a different kind of blogosphere. What you found is a lot of these sort of more personal blogs linking to each other. And what was really interesting is that one of the researchers that we had over from Israel, she said that, I mean, she was the one who said that she wasn't so surprised that that a medium such as blogging in Palestinian territories is used just as much for a kind of escapism as it is for sort of giving political voice, I mean, which is also, of course, a function. Okay, so that was kind of the interesting finding of having these actors organize themselves rather than doing that for them. Okay, so the next point I want to make is about research tools. I'll show you. We have a number of them. Like I said, often a research tool will actually be the output of a workshop. I just want to encourage you guys to just write down the URL and then later type it in and go take a look. That's our tool directory. What you'll see with our tools is that we have kind of quite a wide range. They range from sort of very basic utilities. For example, the harvester extracts URLs from a text or source code or basically anything you put into it. and gives you that clean list of URLs which you can then use in another tool, right? So, but then we also have much more elaborate tools. One of our favorites is the Google scraper, which has been termed the Libmanian device. And I won't go into that right now, but these more elaborate tools, dubbed by us, by the way, the Libmanian device. These more elaborate tools, I would just point out, have methods built in, right? So it's just important to remember, and that these should be examined. And I want to continue along this point, but then step away for a second from our tools about kind of digital research tools more generally, and how they're implicated in today's web culture, and how we also use the web today. Because it's not just researchers at universities that are using digital research tools, which you could classify under digital methods. But you see them with, for example, marketing, right? You see a lot of tools for marketers looking to assess how much buzz their brand is getting in social media spaces, for example. You see something really great like Mini Eyes, which is a sort of platform for doing information visualization. So anyone can grab a data set and make these really great visualizations. And then I saw this morning in the paper. This is New York Times. I'll pass it around. It's a little column called "Autocomplete the Candidates." So they pull up the Google sort of autocomplete search terms for some of the different candidates. I'll take a look. As a sort of physical example of digital methods that I wanted to bring in. So the first point I would make is that these tools are very prevalent, very much a part of web culture today. And the second point I would make is that they're not objective recorders of what's going on the web, but they're very much implicated in web culture and very much a part of it. And I thought it would be easiest to take a kind of obvious example of this. Yeah, it's pretty legible. This is the Wiki Scanner from a few years ago. The Wiki Scanner was created by Virgil Griffith, Caltech. And all of this stuff comes from California. That's why I'm here. But so Virgil Griffith created the Wiki Scanner, which does exactly what it says. It lists anonymous Wikipedia edits from interesting organizations. And so as a research tool, it's I would argue it's very much formatted to a particular kind of research, and that is scandal research. The most famous case of the use of the Wiki Scanner in Holland, and maybe one of the more famous ones in general, was a case where one of the princesses, one of the members of the royal family, had edited her own entry and had deleted some information that was considered especially kind of controversial. And then that was discovered through someone. The Wiki Scanner had just come out, and then someone used that to find that edit, and the IP address traced back to one of the homes of one of the IPs that belonged to the royal family. So, and then they went ahead and admitted that they had made that edit. That princess, by the way, is Arlene can correct me on this, but I think she's given up her right to be. I'm not sure. Okay. I won't put that on Wikipedia just yet. But I'll consider other sources. So that was called the royal edit, right, if you wanted to look that up. Yeah. So one point then I would want to make about this, but then kind of obliquely towards research tools in general. One point is that it's not some objective tool, but it's formatted for a particular kind of research.